Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to share with you how I journal using Photoshop onto a sheet of labels like the kind that you get with your kit every month and use the print and cut feature with the Silhouette. I'm going to be working in Photoshop Elements, but you could easily do this in Photoshop as well, and with my Silhouette software, just the basic one that came with my Silhouette. So I start by opening my label file, and the first thing I want to do is delete the Scraptastic Club label at the bottom, just because I find that sometimes it disturbs the registration marks on my Silhouette. So once I have that done, I am going to choose the horizontal type tool in Photoshop, and I'm going to add a box into my chosen label, and I'm using the rough typewriter font, and the sizes vary. Sometimes I use 8, sometimes I use 10 in black, and I just start typing my journaling in the labels. So on this layout, I'm recording everything about my daughter right now. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to use an entire sheet of labels because I have so many things to record, things that she likes, things that she says. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just filling in all of my labels with details about her at her current age. And I have all of these justified centrally, and I'm just going to do a few more here just so that you can see my process. And even on the circles, you can do the same thing. Just do a box inside the inner circle, and then just press return every time you get too close to the outside, to the inside of the circle. You can do the same thing. So I'm just going to record her favorite foods right now. Now for the labels that are vertical, what I usually do is I just flip the entire sheet. I rotate it to the right by 90 degrees, and then just use the horizontal type tool again. And then once I'm done typing in those labels, then I just flip the whole thing back to the left 90 degrees. I love this font. It's called Rough Typewriter. It's from defont.com, and I love it because it looks like a messy typewriter, like an old typewriter. And since I don't have a typewriter right now, I've always wanted one, but they do take up a lot of space, and I can just never find one for the right kind of price. So once you're done with your journaling, what you want to do is go to Layer and flatten your image, and that makes everything one layer. And then I'm going to File and do a Save As. And I'm going to save it in my documents as Scraptastic Takes 2 Labels Journaled. You're going to want to make sure before you flatten it that you have everything exactly the way you want it, because once you save it, you can't get your layers back. So now I'm going to open my Silhouette software, and I already have my sheet 8.5 by 11 with the print lines and the cut lines and the registration marks turned on. So you can see all of those on there. And I'm going to make sure, I'm going to drag and drop my file into the Silhouette software and make sure that my labels are inside of all of those lines. It's really important, or else it's not going to print or cut correctly. So that looks pretty good. Everything's inside my lines. Okay, next I'm going to show you how you would deal with the outlines for this shape so that you can use the print and cut feature. This is what the file would look like when you drag it into your Silhouette software. So I'm going to go to the Trace menu, select Trace Area, and draw a box around all of those shapes. Uncheck High Pass Filter, turn up the threshold to 100%, and then I just click on the Scale button until all of the shapes are yellow. It's usually somewhere around 15. So once all of those are yellow and you can see that everything is clearly clearly yellow, then you hit trace. And that makes the red lines around your black shapes. Then you select the black shapes, hit delete, and you're left with just your red lines. So right now I'm just going to copy those and paste them into my sheet of labels. And I just want to try to get those lined up as best as I can. And that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to print. After your sheet is printed, you put your paper on your Silhouette cutting mat and run it through your machine. It will find the registration marks and it should give you a great cut around all of your journal labels. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned something and you can try it on your next project.